All right, there's a point in life when something just shifts. And I think it feels kind of subtle at first. You're still responsible, you're still disciplined, you're still feeling very capable. You know how to eat pretty well, you know how maybe even how to work out. You've read all the books, you've listened to the podcasts, right? And you've tried the plans. So you're not clueless. But your body is not responding, and it's damn sure not responding the way that it used to. And this is the part that almost no one will explain to us clearly. At some point in your 40s and or your 50s, it stops being about effort and it starts being about signaling. So your body runs on these communication systems, right? There's hormone signaling, there's inflammation signaling, there's metabolic signaling, there's recovery signaling, neurologic signaling. And when these systems are strong, food and weight and sleep and all those things, your body responds to those things in the right ways. When those systems start to weaken and misfire, which happens naturally, you can do all the right things and you still struggle. You still plateau. You still feel inflamed and puffy and exhausted and like your body is just resisting everything. And what I find that most women do in that moment is they assume that there's a motivation problem. They couldn't stay on track. They couldn't stay disciplined. They couldn't, keep up with their diet. So they assume they need to just try harder. But it's not about trying harder. It's about working more precisely. So you're not going to find the right diet. You've got to work precisely. I was talking with one of my clients recently, and she said something that really stuck with me. And I've heard it before, but every time I hear it, it's like, oh my gosh. Before she worked with me, she said she had done everything and she was doing everything right. She told me she was working out consistently. She was even tracking macros and her portions. And she'd worked with macros coaches before and she was getting freaking nowhere. So this is not a woman who like half-ass does stuff. She adheres to a plan and she had been over and over and she was getting nowhere. I think she told me she had been like consistent, really consistent for 6 months. And that kind of lack of response starts to make your body or you question your body or question yourself. Am I just too old for anything to work? Is it too late for me? And on the first call when we talked, she was like, I just don't understand why this isn't working. Like I'm putting in the work. I know what to do. And she did, and she was. It wasn't about the effort, and it wasn't about her intelligence. It wasn't about the information necessarily that she had, and it dang sure wasn't about compliance. It was about signaling. Her body was not responding to the inputs in the way that it used to. And recently, she's gone forward and done some great work, but recently she commented on one of my posts where I talked about 3 categories of women, and she said, I was in category 3. Like I was doing everything right and I was getting nowhere until I worked with you. And since working together, she's down over 20 pounds. She's down, I think, 7 inches off of her hips and like 10 or 11 inches off of her waist. But here's the thing that's even more important. She freaking feels phenomenal. She's confident. She's clear. She's at home in her body again. She can travel and enjoy it and not gain weight. And that didn't happen because she tried harder. It happened because we addressed the layers of things that were misfiring in that communication system in her body. And that's exactly why I built the precision pathway inside my metabolic rewire system. I have never built something this specific to the work that I'm doing. It's always been centered around strategy, like, nutrition and stress and movement and identity patterns. And that foundation does not change. But what I've seen over and over again is that some women need a deeper layer of precision. Not more hustle, not more restriction, not cutting calories, not another freaking PDF or macros calculator. They need precision, targeted precision that intervenes. They need someone who can understand when it's time to look at things like inflammation patterns, when hormonal shifts need to be accounted for, when recovery signaling has dropped and what to do about it, when metabolic resistance is so prevalent that we can't get over it, and when appropriate, you need someone who understands how to implement strategic tools that are layered in thoughtfully, not randomly, not reactively, not because it's some freaking trend, but because their physiology indicates it. So this is not about chasing something magic. It's not about biohacking like the bros talk about. This isn't about doing some med spa bullshit. It's about building metabolically healthy systems. And when indicated, supporting that system super intelligently. Some women only need the strategic structure that I give them. Some women need deeper metabolic intervention. And some women even need advanced tools that are layered in alongside that foundation. That is exactly what my precision pathway means and what it does. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I am consistent, like I am disciplined, I do the work, and my body like still won't cooperate with me, what the hell? I want you to hear me clearly if that's you. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You may simply be at that stage where effort alone is not the lever that's going to get you the results that you want. You need precision. And that is exactly what we do inside my metabolic rewire system with that particular pathway, through precision pathway, especially. So if you want to talk through like what's actually happening in your body, what is going on, why is it not responding? If you want clarity around whether you need just a foundational strategy and support or you need deeper precision, I am enrolling a small number of women right now in this precision pathway. You can get on a call with me. We will look at your situation very frankly. And if it makes sense, I'll walk you through the levels of support that I have available. No pressure, but we'll just get some clarity around what it is you need, what strategy you need, and what layer of intervention you need. Because midlife is not the end of responsiveness for your body. It's just a stage that requires smarter leadership on your part and you getting the support you need to get the level of help that you need so that you can change it. It is absolutely doable. I've done it. I've seen my clients do it. And now with this precision pathway, I'm going to be able to add in another so much more sophisticated layer of testing and where indicated these more intensive strategies to support you in ways that are going to change women's lives even more than they ever have before when working with me. So thanks so much for listening to me today. I know this chat was a little bit different than ones that we usually have, but I really wanted to share with you guys, those of you who listen each week, I wanted to share with you that you know that I'm always changing things. I'm always improving, right? I'm always learning. And this is something that I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to layer this in a much more strategic, intentional way for women. And I wanted you to hear it first. So I'm going to put in the show notes the link to my calendar, which I don't typically do. I don't think that it's usually in there. I'm going to layer that in the show notes. You can also reach me through email. I'll put my email there. You can message me in the DMs and Instagram or Facebook too. If you want to just chat, totally reach out, message me, email, whatever. If you're like, hey, I want to know more about this. I've been listening to you and I want your help. We can talk about all the different things that go into that. We can talk about what it is that you need. And if it fits, if it's a good fit for us to work together and I have openings, then we'll work together. And worst case scenario, if it's not a good fit, you'll walk away with a lot more information and clarity around what's going on and what it is you do need so that you could take that next step on your journey. So thanks for being with me. As always, I always appreciate the time, and I'll see you right back here next time.